Next up is Facebook. Chris Daniels, who is the VP of Business Development of Facebook. Chris, can you join me? Hello, Chris. Welcome.
Hey, good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you for coming here.
My pleasure.
All the way from your beautiful campus over there.
Yeah, but it's beautiful here as well.
Yes.
It's been wonderful here.
Yes, and no, the weather has been great this year too.
Yeah.
So you tried to acquire Snapchat for $3 billion. Why did you do that?
Thanks for starting there. I don't have anything to say about that at all, unfortunately.
Really?
No. I think Snapchat is interesting. I think they have, they're onto this interesting style of communication, which is this, I think yesterday it was called the ephemeral communication,
yes,
where it's disappearing.
I was interested by the way...
the Twitter guy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes, Michael CP called it ephemeral content.
So a good word for it. I think that there's a place for the type of content that is fleeting and sharing that with people, and then there's a place for content that you actually want to remain around. So major life events like the birth of my child or being on stage with you.
You want to disappear.
Maybe I'd want one of those to disappear, one of those to stay. Who knows?
Not sure which one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a place for it. I think it's interesting. I think it'll be around.
Nick Deloiseau, which was amazing on stage.
Yeah, he was good.
It's great,
For an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Crazy. I wish I was that dynamic at 18.
Yes.
Maybe I wish I was that dynamic now.
I wonder what he will become, honestly, given what he is today.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you start that young. So anyway, he said the human brain is not designed to create permanent content, because memories, we just forget things.
Yeah.
That's our nature.
Yeah.
We forget most things.
Yeah.
And so Snapchat is the first social network that has actually captured that ephemeral value of a brain. So I thought that was interesting. How about we make our entire stream on Facebook disappear as we write it?
I don't know if people want that. I actually think that there is, short-term memory that disappears, and then there's long-term memory that you actually want to stay around. So I think there's a place for both, and I actually don't think people would be too thrilled if everything that they put on Facebook suddenly disappeared. I really like to know, for example, I really like to know the places that I've eaten in the past, or when I go, I had this experience when I went to Hawaii with my family last year, where I was looking for a restaurant, and I used Facebook, and I used our nearby functionality, and I looked for restaurants nearby, and I could actually see the restaurants where my friends had been.
Oh, nearby.
I thought it was awesome.
I've never tried that one.
You should try it.
It tells you where your friends are. Huh. I've been around you. Okay.
Well, it actually tells you can search for different local places around, and then some of the information that you're given is, hey, here are some comments my friends left, or some likes that were there. So if I can see that, that's awesome. I want that to be around for a long time.
I agree. But do you have any idea of the traffic on the timeline of the latest versus the history? You go all the way to when I was born, right?
I have no idea.
You do, if you go through the history.
Oh, no, I know that, but I have no idea.
Oh,
you asked me if I had any idea of the traffic, and I just don't know the numbers on the traffic.
I guess. So
one of my favorite things, though, is, and I know you wanted to talk about search, one of my favorite things is actually on search, if you actually just look for photos of your family, or photos of my wife, or photos of friends, that kind of thing. It's actually a great, awesome experience.
So you search your friend's name or your wife's name, and you see what's been
tagged.
Get a
whole list of photos from the past couple of years. It's kind of nostalgic.
And you guys now, I'm each time very surprised how accurate your face recognition works.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, well, yeah, you post and it says you want to tag, and the first name that shows up is the actual person that you just took the person. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, what we found was that, I guess years ago when we just started allowing people to post pictures to Facebook, is that just having that ability to tag your friends on a photo made the photo so much more rich for people. So it's good.
Yeah,
it works well. Thank you.
It can create interesting surprises too sometimes.
Yeah.
You're tagged where you don't want to. But can you tell me about where is Facebook? So, what is Facebook today? Where are you guys going? What is it? How are you going to maintain such an amazing? How many users? It's I heard about the billion last year. So what are you now?
I think the most recent stat is 1.19 billion.
So it's tough to get to the second billion.
It is tough to get to the second billion, but that's actually why we're doing initiatives like Internet.org, is to make sure that we can reach the next billion, and make sure that more people have connectivity so that they can have access to information.
Yeah, because you're basically connected to the growth of people connected to the internet in general in the world. That's pretty interesting. You've like saturated everybody connected already, so now you need to get more people in Africa online.
We haven't saturated everybody, so there's still some work to do there. But it is good. We actually think even broader than just people coming online to use Facebook, that it's actually good to just get more people online. When more people are online, they have more access to information, they can make more connections with people, their lives actually get better.
So tell me about this initiative. How do you get the world on Facebook? Online and then on Facebook?
Yeah. So internet.org was organized around 3 pillars. Number one is is efficiency and making apps more efficient. Because when you're in a market where you're paying for data kind of by the megabit and you don't have a lot of money to spend, it's very important that the apps are very, very data efficient. So number one is efficiency. Another of the pillars is business models. There's a whole ecosystem of carriers throughout the world and others, OEMs, et cetera, who are providing access today. And we need to make sure that that if we're bringing more people online, that they have a great business model that they can that allows them to stay in business and make money bringing more people online, right? So kind of business model tests. Excuse me. Some examples of what we're doing there are we just launched a partnership with Globe in the Philippines, who's one of the carriers in the Philippines, to offer actually free access to Facebook for a certain amount of time. And then after the end of that period, the hope is that more people will have gotten used to using the internet and will actually...
Facebook offers you free access?
Yeah. Or Globe offers free. Globe offers
not
free
Facebook.
Access. Yeah. Globe is offering free access to Facebook. And their hope is that after a certain period of time, people will get more accustomed to using the internet. They will find value in it, not only on Facebook, but off Facebook, and then they'll become paying customers.
What are the biggest challenges you have in the world, like with competition? Is it in Asia that there is a Facebook-like that is growing bigger, or is it still bigger? Or are you leading in most large markets now?
Well, I don't know, like market by market. I think the fun thing about working at Facebook is that we are like a growing part of a growing space, right? So as you know, Mark has always said for many years, the world is becoming more social, and the amount of social information is going to continue to grow exponentially over time. And so we have what a lot of people would call competitors, kind of throughout the world in many different verticals. But the good thing from our perspective is we're a growing piece of a quickly growing pie, and that's actually like a wonderful place to be.
So tell me about the mobile shift, because it's amazing how you guys have changed. You've been a mostly web-based or desktop-based.
We were.
You were.
That's where we started.
Exactly. I mean, that's what it was. And then Mark was pretty notorious to promote HTML5 and do apps which were not native iPhone and Android apps.
Yeah.
And it looks like you guys changed dramatically since then.
We did.
That was a mistake, apparently. But very impressive change. And now the app is very good. I think you let a lot of space for social apps which were native, because Facebook was not.
Yeah.
And now your mobile apps are very good.
That's right.
But yet you buy Instagram for $1 billion. Like why? You can comment on this one at least, because that's all done, right? Kevin was here last year.
Yeah. Let me see. You asked 2 different questions. So
please.
Let me see. On the Instagram question, Instagram's great. We're happy. I think Kevin and Mike are happy, and they continue to make really elegant, awesome products. And so I think you should just expect them to continue to be on that path, and we're thrilled with the acquisition. It's been good on both sides. I think they've had the ability to get some help from Facebook, leverage Facebook's resources, which has been good for them. Keeps them focused on the user experience, which is where they want to be. So we've been happy with the Instagram acquisition.
People were calling you crazy for buying it for so much money, and now such a great deal. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. It's good. Yeah, those are the good ones.
Well, you're worth 120 billion, so I guess one is okay. Do you think it's a fair valuation of Facebook?
I don't really know. Not my area of expertise, to be honest. I think the most important thing that people come into Facebook every day and focus on is the mission. It's making the world more open and connected. I don't think any of us, and I would say myself in particular, I don't come in every day and think about the stock price or think about our valuation. simply not my focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. The shift to mobile is the other thing that you wanted to
I
talk
can never
about.
get them to talk like Hali is in front of me. This is what's cool about this stage. They see people react to what we're saying. I can never get anyone to comment, on that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I was expecting it.
Good.
It makes you happier when it goes up, I guess.
But you never know. One day somebody might comment. And then who knows what will happen? Maybe they'll never be invited by their own company back up onto the stage.
Well, you don't want to put you in trouble for sure. So talk to me about mobile then. You're all like mobile first now?
We are. I only joined Facebook, it'll be 3 years ago in February. And when I came, we were a desktop company. Our mobile apps, honestly, it's something we can look back on and say we made some mistakes. Our mobile apps were not good. They were slow. They were buggy. We didn't update them frequently.
Be careful. I don't want you in trouble for saying that.
Yeah, you're right. I'll be right on this one. But then what we actually did is it was really a major retooling of the company, not only from a technology perspective and the languages that our engineers are writing in, but also like a process perspective. We used to update the website, we still do actually, exceptionally frequently, right? Many times a month.
But not the mobile apps.
The mobile apps were getting much faster. We used to update those it was months between when we'd ship out an update. We're now updating those on a much more regular cadence. And that's really important because it's important for us to be able to get those apps out there, release new features quickly, get feedback from users, incorporate that feedback, and then get better. So I think it's one of these things where, honestly, it's like we didn't do a good job in the past, and we recognize that as a company. We made a big shift, and now I think we're doing a pretty good job to where we're mobile first. And the move we have to make is just staying mobile best, where that's our best experience.
And same on revenue, your mobile revenue, which is public as well.
That is public.
Growing.
It is growing.
Very dramatically.
I think last quarter, what we announced was, I believe the number was, it was 49% of our advertising revenue was from mobile. And that's off of a base of, 18 months before it was 0. So that's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me about developers. That's what you do, right?
Yeah, that's a big portion of what I do. I spend a lot of my time working with partners, whether they're developers or carrier partners, all sorts of partners.
So we have a lot of entrepreneurs and large companies in the room. So what can they build? Like, what's exciting? Maybe you could talk about what you find exciting on Facebook being built these days.
Yeah.
Which is very different to what it was a few years back.
Yeah, I'll give you some of my personal favorites. So I think our platform is about enabling developers to make awesome user experiences, period. That's what people should think of when they think of Facebook.
Well, you definitely won the login game, right? All the apps are the sign-in. It's all Facebook.
There are a lot of apps using Facebook login, which is absolutely awesome.
How many? Millions? Hundreds of thousands?
It's got to be at least hundreds of thousands. I don't know the exact number. I think that it's, what are the exact stats? I think it's something like above 80% of the top grossing iOS apps are using Facebook login, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, you're knowing now if you have to create a password, basically. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, please explain what are the top cases you think.
So the ones, I'll just give you the ones that I personally enjoy. So for me, I run a lot, and I like to share my runs on Nike with my friends, and also be able to set up challenges with my friends so that we can see who can run the farthest, the fastest, etc. So I think that one's awesome. Nike's done a fantastic job, both with their application as well as with the Facebook integration there. So I personally really like that one. Another one that I like, you'll get the sense that I spend a lot of my time outdoors exercising, is I ride my bike to work almost every day. And I like Strava.
Of course, I use that too.
Yeah, so Strava lets me compete with people, right? And I have to say, it was kind of this unexpected thing. At first, it was just out of curiosity. I wanted to track how many miles I rode this year, right? And then, when I kind of got into the competition thing, I found myself riding much, much faster, right? And you actually find yourself competing, and then when somebody knocks you off of the king of the mountain, you think, I got to get back up on that. So that one's been awesome. It's actually provided a lot of motivation to my workouts, which is very, very cool. Love their Facebook integration as well. Another one that I always enjoy is Spotify, any of the music applications, right? Being able to listen to the songs that my friends, my family are listening to, being able to share playlists, I think it's just a fantastic user experience.
Yeah, and gaming is very social too. You have huge successes right?
Huge.
On the platform.
Yeah. I think in 2012, we paid out over $2 billion to developers. And that is predominantly from our gaming. Yeah. So it's a big business for us, and social games have been just an absolutely fantastic set of developers that we have on platform. In fact, I think a French company this year won Game of the Year for Facebook, Criminal Case, by Pretty Simple.
Right.
So that's awesome.
And you're in France too. You were not in France before. Now you have a...
Me personally or Facebook? Facebook's been here for a while.
3-4 years? Yeah.
No, longer than that.
No, I think. Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm too much in San Francisco, man.
Yeah.
So
Facebook's been around.
There's one thing that is not really social is commerce. Retail, right? Online retailers. It's not very social. I don't know why. Why do you think is that? We don't really share what we buy. I don't see that on Facebook. I bought this or I bought that, or not so much, right?
I think most of what I buy is really boring. It's my wife sending me to the grocery store, or it's just kind of the basic things.
You should have a very cool bike, I guess.
But
biking is your passion.
I have a nice bike. I like my bike. I do like my bike, and I might share that with people who would actually be interested in it, right? So maybe Strava is a good place where I could share the bike that I just bought. I don't know. I agree with you, actually. I agree with you that social commerce, I haven't seen the perfect user experience that I think really captures what I believe social commerce could be. And I do think that commerce is naturally social. People share what they buy, whether
with friends, yeah, but not so much on Facebook yet or anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it as much yet. I think it's an opportunity, and there are a lot of good companies that are going after that opportunity, and we'll see. I'm sure something will come.
Can you comment about competition? So how you see the space? Because you used to, there was Twitter, which was a stream, and you were a Facebook. You were cards with people, and at the very beginning, right?
Yes.
And I was actually commenting to Mike CP yesterday about this, the book of Nick Bilton, where he explains about this. I know you'll answer. I was not there, but the meeting where Mark tried to acquire Twitter, and he said, "Oh, we're a very different thing. We have no stream. We're just about people, and our homepage is your friends." And that didn't work out very well. And then you created a stream, which we use. Most people forgot there was no stream on Facebook.
Yeah, back in the day, that's right.
The page was not exactly a timeline, right?
Yeah.
And so what's...
Newsfeed was this big announcement. I think it was in 2006.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
And so sometimes I have troubles I have to admit I use Facebook more and more. Which I bet you won't complain about. I even try to use it to blog and to post long form, almost like blog posts or full page, and there isn't that much left to Twitter because you took the feed, you incorporated it in a nice way. The thing that's missing, I was saying yesterday, is search. You can search on Facebook, but I cannot do what I'm doing on Twitter. I cannot search what people are saying on the web. I can search the hashtag. We just tried, right? Before we went on stage. But I cannot see, it's there are tweets every 10 seconds or 30 seconds or more about the web. I can follow that. So if I'm a brand, if I am Orange, or if I am, we have a CEO here coming, if I want to see what people are saying about Orange, very easy on Twitter. Not so much on Facebook, right? Is it something you guys don't want to do? You're not interested in that?
No, we just released a set of APIs a matter of weeks ago, maybe just a couple of months ago, that actually allow brands and kind of media companies, content owners, to be able to look and see and actually pull a feed of what are people talking about on Facebook. Because we know that people talk a lot about media, events, et cetera, on Facebook. And we haven't done as good a job as we could of surfacing that information to them. So we built these APIs. These big content owners can access these APIs, and they can now get a much better sense of exactly what's being talked about for their content, for their show, for LeWeb, whatever it may be. So we are trying to improve the tools, and we are improving the tools that we're giving to content providers.
Because that's a huge shift as well. You guys were mostly private, and now you're mostly public, or not? Like what content inside?
I actually don't know the
what
mix.
I post is all public.
Yeah.
I don't. And
so you're 100% public.
I am, but by default it's public now. Your users, if they don't change to private, I think
I'm not sure if
You
that's
tell
the
me.
case. I'm not sure if that's the case. I feel like you're telling me.
I might be totally wrong. That's a feeling. I see more and more posts in public, which I think is good.
I think there are more and more posts
Because
in public.
most things we share are not confidential.
What we haven't done as good a job of in the past is surfacing all of the content that is being discussed on Facebook. And so we are working on various ways, and these APIs are a first step in terms of how we surface that content. Because we know that people are talking about TV, movies, media, all sorts of things on Facebook. It is happening. We actually know that it's happening on Facebook more than it is anywhere else. We simply need to surface it well.
TV is apparently a space where Twitter is going really hard on, like, I'm watching TV, which I never do myself, but I get it. Maybe a sports match, or football, and you comment live, and you see what's happening. And they're definitely very active in that space. So you're also trying to get the search to be as that real time?
Yeah, I think the first question is, are users using Facebook to talk about TV? And the answer is unequivocally yes.
Yes.
That there's a lot of volume of...
Live.
Yeah.
So you see even, the popular TV show...
Even live or even after. I remember after the Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding episode, that like my feed the next day was all full of people saying, oh my gosh, can you believe what happened last night on the Game of Thrones? Yep. Our job is to actually surface that information better to content owners so that they can see and react to and use Facebook as a better platform for them to broadcast what they're doing. And we're doing that. And it's working.
Wonder what will be left then. But tell me about the future. How do you see it? How do you see the Facebook evolving, or developers evolving with Facebook?
Yeah. I think the theme here being kind of the next 10 years. Yeah. I think Facebook...
Like, are you the next MySpace?
No. I don't think so. I think what you'll see is for Facebook, we are going to continue to be focused on our mission. We're going to make the world more open and connected. So I don't know what Facebook is going to look like 10 years from now, but I know that we're an exceptionally mission-focused company, and we're going to be focusing on making the world more open and connected.
And just to be clear, that was a question. I don't think you are, clearly. But it's...
I think I answered it.
I think, yeah, it's very successful right now. But it's amazing how much, like, things change so fast.
Yeah.
Right? Like, suddenly... Instagram becomes huge. At one point, I don't know now, but it was posting more pictures than Twitter, and then Twitter had to, react, and then Twitter launches Vine for videos, and then you have Snapchat that grows tremendously, and so you guys are like on a horse that keeps like challenging you. It's amazing. You have to reinvent yourself all the time. I don't know any industry where it's so fascinating how much change there is, and if you don't change, you're in trouble, right? Which has been the case with the mobile apps, and you reacted super fast to it. So how do you see it? What will look like? Do you think we'll be sharing from glass, like devices on us? Do you think?
The only thing I can be really certain of is that users are going to get just more awesome user experiences. Like that is definitely going to happen.
Like what? Give me an example.
I do think that there are going to be more sensors out there. There's going to be this Internet of Things that is going to allow people to kind of, the quantified self is going to happen. I think that is going to be deeply tied to your identity and tied to your identity online, and a lot of that is going to be shared. Mm-hmm. So I think that there are going to be things that happen there that are going to be awesome over the next few years. I think users are going to benefit from kind of the continued, I would say all the things that you're talking about around the incredible growth of all of these services have really been spurred by this shift to mobile, where there's been kind of a new white space of times and places and activities that I could do on my mobile device. And so all of these new applications are providing the opportunity for people to have great new experiences that probably just weren't kind of appropriate or enabled by old desktop computers.
I don't know if you saw George Collin's keynote earlier, but he had this example of babies trying to touch magazines instead of turning pages.
My kids are doing that. Yeah, my 2-year-old. He knows how to get into the iPad or the iPhone.
Yeah, and you give him a Newsweek or the paper, and they can't turn the page, right?
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be like a typing class that's even offered in the future, because the way my kids are interacting with iPhones, iPads, Android devices, whatever it may be, seems to be entirely touch right now, for sure. They wouldn't be capable of typing yet. But I suspect some combination of type and voice is probably going to be enough in the future.
We have not. You're actually reminding me that we should talk about voice so much more as a
new input method.
New input. Thank you. Yeah. Because it's not there yet. Siri and Google, I don't know how they call it, but the interface to Android is not so great, right? Do you use it?
A little bit. Occasionally, I'll use Siri on my iPhone.
Okay,
and
glass.
I think
glass.
Yeah. I'm hoping those kind of cue words that you have to say to turn these things on will go away.
Yes,
and a device will just know I'm talking to the device now versus I'm talking to something else. We'll see.
True. 2 days ago, I posted, I replied to someone using Google Glass, and I did, okay, Glass, reply, awesome. And my answer was, awesome. And it posted, foursome. And I did not notice, and the guy I was talking to was like...
He's like, oh, that's a little weird, man.
And fortunately, it says via Google Glass.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not there yet.
Well, these will get better. But there's no question these will get better.
And you support it. You have a Facebook app in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think new inputs, new outputs, a world of sensors, like it's all going to create incredible user experiences. The things that I'm doing with Nike and with Strava and with Spotify, like these are just the very, very beginning.
What's the most exciting thing you think in the next years to come for you?
Most exciting thing for me personally?
Biking.
I'm going to keep biking. I'm going to do a lot of biking.
We should go bike together. I like biking too.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I think the most exciting thing is going to be watching the next billion people come online. I think that is going to be an amazing shift. I was telling you backstage when I was in high school, I lived in Zambia for a little while. And I was telling you the story about buying a car, right? So in Zambia, the process of buying a car at the time was the largest banknote that they had in Zambia was a 500 kwacha note. Kwacha is the currency there. And it was 800 kwacha to $1. So imagine the largest note you could have being 70 cents. So to buy a car, I literally had to go to the bank, get duffel bags of cash. Felt like I was in a movie like Casino or something, running drugs. Go to the car dealership and spend the entire afternoon counting stacks of money. It was a phenomenal waste of time for everybody, an absolute waste of time. I see things going on now in like Kenya and Tanzania where mobile money is making transactions actually much, much quicker and much, much safer for people in an economy that doesn't have a consumer credit market. That's just awesome. That's really changing lives. The speed at which people can get things done, their productivity, their efficiency, the connections that they have, the opportunities that they're now being afforded.
And the crowdsourcing around it, that you can empower, I think, millions of new entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Based on who would never be able to borrow from a bank or raise from an angel in those countries especially, right?
Absolutely.
They'll be crowdfunded. So
yeah. Everybody talks about mobile money and NFC in kind of the US or in Europe, and it's really happening in a lot of these markets. They're just going to leapfrog us, and I think that is so exciting. Bringing people that connectivity so their lives are more efficient and you don't have to carry around duffel bags of cash, that's a real improvement in people's lives. That's exciting.
Everybody wants to optimize their presence on Facebook. So, Chris, how can we keep in touch with you at LeWeb'? I know you're here. You have your team here. Is there a good way to get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me, anybody's always welcome to email me. You can get in touch with me on Facebook. Those are the best ways.
All right.
Yeah.
And so we just search you on Facebook. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
So, Chris Daniels on Facebook, thanks so much for participating.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Woo.